Here with head coach Blaine McCorkle as the Demons prepare for yet another road trip. We will play at home. The schedule does have us playing at home, and we will play at home again, but not least for this week. As we head to Prairie View A&M. And before we get into that game, Coach, give me some insight into how you want to see, because we've talked a lot about toughness this year, and you guys did the 9 nights of toughness and all that sort of stuff. It's been a tough couple weeks for the Demons. So how do you want to see that toughness sort of manifest itself this week as we get back to FCS play?
Well, this 3-week stretch here is really why there was such a focus in the preseason on toughness, because really, what toughness is what does it take to break you? What does it take to set you back, to get you distracted, all those things. Character has a lot to do with that too. Your character and your toughness really go hand in hand. And I think our team's got a lot of character. They do have a lot of toughness, and we'll need to have that on full display all week. Not so much for the game. Of course, we have to have it for the game, but as we prepare, because, we've got a lot of battered and bruised and tired bodies, so we've got to change our preparation to make sure that we're as close to being at full speed Saturday as we can be. And with that, it takes a lot of mental toughness to prepare in a different way this week than we have in the past, with some guys, still out with injuries and recovering, trying to get them back and doing those things. So they'll get a chance to display that all week long for sure.
And I think we've talked about the sort of physical side of that toughness, but that was a key. That mental side of it was something you guys talked about in preseason, and I think it was evident in the past couple of weeks too that that it's landed, and they've taken it and in a really good spot as we head into this game with that on that side of it.
Yeah, they have. They've done what we asked them to do. That 2-week stretch is tough. I don't know that anybody in the country had back-to-back P4s this year. I think Commerce did, but it was week 1 and 2. Then they had an open date, so it was a little bit different setup. But to have two really tough FCS opponents sandwiching those, nobody in the country is doing that. So, but I'm proud of our guys. I'm proud of how they handled it. They've stayed together. They've stayed positive. And I think they'll have a good week of preparation this week, kind of put those 2 weeks behind them, but at the same time learn the lessons from them, because there's a lot of opportunities for growth in those environments and playing those type of opponents. So it's the old, it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger, and hopefully we got stronger from those 2 experiences.
Yep. So tell me about Prairie View. What have you seen? I know they got a kind of a mobile, athletic kind of quarterback. Some big guys, some athletic guys, that sort of stuff. What do you see from them?
Yeah, playing 2 quarterbacks right now, 4 and 21, are both good players, a little bit different in skill set, but we have to know who's in the game and what they offer at a certain time. It'd be interesting to see, how that kind of pans out this week, because they've definitely played them both a significant number of snaps. So with that, knowing who's in the game, who's the mobile guy, which they both have a chance to be mobile at times, eye discipline, being where you're supposed to be, knowing when you got to contain things, all those things will be really, really important for our defense this week, because they do some really good things on offense. They got a receiver, number 11, that came from Sam Houston, with their offensive coordinator who can go get it. They want to get him the ball, so we got to know where he is at all times. And they got a lot of playmakers on the field, so we'll have to be really disciplined defensively. And then on the other side of the ball, they're big and physical, and they can run. It's what you expect from SWAC teams is big physical guys that can run and hit. So we'll have our work cut out for us to play a 3-down front that gives you some challenges up front. That's why we do it. Being an offensive line coach all those years, 3-down fronts always gave us fits, and anytime you see it, you got to be ready, because things just the puzzle pieces don't fit exactly like you want them to sometimes with that. So our guys up front will have to be on their game. So we got our work cut out for us. They're a team that has gotten better every week. Played 3 games, and you can see significant improvement in all 3 of the films that you watch. So good for them as they're progressing through year 1 with a new head coach. I think he's doing exactly what he wanted to do and setting his standards as well. So it should be a good football game.
You talked about, we'll start with the offensive line. It seems like some teams have had some success running the ball against Prairie View this year. Obviously, that communication amongst those 5 are going to be huge. But do you feel like that's an area that we could see some success Saturday?
It is, yeah. We're always going to want to establish the run. Me being an offensive line coach, that's my mindset. That's what we're going to want to do. Some people have had some success. The numbers get a little bit skewed because of the Rice game. Rice is a true triple option team. That's what they do. So they're going to run the ball, 80% of the time. So that's where, and they're an FBS opponent. So they're playing a better opponent who majors in running the triple option. So they're going to have some run game numbers there. So it skews it a little bit, but they do a good job. They'll stuff up some runs too. They move their front a lot, which gives you some problems up front, and that's where you got to be really good with your footwork, your communication, and being locked in there together.
And then on the other side of the ball, you mentioned, being sure to know who the quarterback is on any given play, regardless of whatever skill set one may have over the other. How nice is it to have a guy on our side of the ball like a Fernando Washington that can rush with speed and athleticism, can spy if you need him to, can do a lot of different things to sort of combat that dual threat that a quarterback has?
Yeah, the best compliment I can probably give Fernando Washington is he is a football player. He was born to play linebacker. There's no doubt about it. And you're right. He can rush the passer. He can get in the box and stop the run. He can drop into coverage and do some things there. And he can make a play at a lot of different levels on the field. And he loves the game. He loves his teammates. He comes to work every day with a smile on his face. And he's really a lot of fun to be around. He's quickly becoming one of our favorites around here. And he's been a neat kid to have here. So he'll have to have a big night this week because I'm sure we'll put a lot on his shoulders as we're still kind of developing this game plan and what we want to do. So, but I'm sure he'll show up for it. He'll be excited to play.
Obviously, it's his first year here. He made a big impact, defensive player of the week in his first game here. But how did you see his acclimation, his development into Northwestern State defense through camp when he first arrived? How did you see that progress? And when did you obviously you knew he was going to be special. That's why you brought him here. But
that's right, yeah.
How did you see that develop?
Well, he was here in spring practice, so we did get to go through spring with him, so we had a pretty good idea what he was. And he did some really good things in the spring. We thought, well, we got a good football player here. But for me, watching him all summer work with Coach Smelser and really bond to his teammates and the attitude he came to work with, I knew he had a chance to be really, really special. And he's still young in our defense. He's still learning it. He's been here at spring practice in a couple games. And I think he's one of those guys that as he learns and grows and his football IQ develops and matures a little bit, he can be as good as he wants to be within our defense. And it's going to be fun to watch the rest of the year and see how much he grows and continues to make plays for us.
And finally, Coach, I gotta ask you this because I know it's probably on the forefront of a lot of guys' minds, especially the guys that were here last year, that this game may be one that they've circled when the schedule came out, and so there's going to be maybe a little bit more, energy about it, which is a good thing. But how do you portray that? Hey, we want to have that energy, we want to have that enthusiasm, but also staying within ourselves to play the way we need to play to get the win.
Yeah, I think the guys will be excited to play this game. Not so much because it's about Prairie View and what happened last year, but when that game and that name rolls around, you kind of go back to the lessons you've learned, right? And what have we learned since that moment last year? Last year, we were not a mature enough team. We didn't have the culture, the character, the mindset to have earned the right to win that game. Now, we could have won that game. And we talked about this as a leadership council just earlier today. Had we won that game, it actually might have slowed down the progress of the growth of the program because, sometimes with success you relax a little bit, and we might have relaxed a little bit and missed some of the lessons we needed to learn along the way last year. Now, I don't ever want to say that it was a good thing to lose a game. I'm not saying that we want to win every time we go on the field, but there was a lot of lessons to be learned after that game and throughout the rest of last year that had we won it, I don't know we'd be where we are now. And I think what this game does is it allows us to reflect on all the lessons we've learned the last year and now go show it. And what better opportunity to do that than against the same opponent where so many lessons were learned. So it's not about Prairie View, it's about us and how much we've grown and learned. And I think our guys will be excited to kind of show the NSU faithful that on that day.
Coach, thanks so much.
All right.